Welcome. Please sit down. This is the first interview, and there will be more if you pass our criteria. This interview is being recorded, and I will be typing extensive and rather sometimes excessive notes. But don't be alarmed. That doesn't mean you're doing poorly. In fact, you might be doing very well. I will be asking primarily personality and behavioral questions, and then, if you're lucky, possibly get to some yes or no, and maybe, just maybe, we'll end with some of our deal breakers for this position. But most likely, we won't have time to get to those today. So don't be alarmed. Stay calm. And unless you have any questions, let's begin. How did you hear about the position? Yes, it is rather hard to find out information about us. We are a secret organization and bureau. We're secret for a reason. The fact that you were able to find out about us already tells us that you're good at solving puzzles and finding information when there shouldn't be any. So what do you know about the company, bureau, business, and what it is that we do? That's quite a lot. So, with that understanding of what we do, and it seems like you've done more research than most, why did you apply for this position? I mean, why do you want to work for this company? Now, according to your resume here, you have most of your experience in accountancy, being an accountant. You've been a controller for many years, and now you want to work here in this position. Can you elaborate on what kind of career aspirations you would want to make such a rather large shift? Isn't even the right term. Almost a U-turn of a position, kind of a step back in an entirely different field. Why? Don't be alarmed if you hear weird noises in the background or screams, shouts, cursing. Don't worry, we are currently undergoing some experiments. I can't tell you that. That is classified. But just don't be alarmed if you hear odd or strange noises. Yes, screaming does happen. Yes, we are trying to work out a way to keep the experimentation to a different part of the building, but at this point is still in close enough proximity for you to sometimes hear the bleed through. Noise bleed through. So, to finish your story and sum up, you are looking for a change, something different, something exciting, something more active and interesting, because you are tired of what you would consider a normal office desk job. And instead you want to find something bizarre, innovative, drastically different. Well, I don't think there is a position that could be as far away from accountancy as the one that you have applied for today. So if your goal is for different, unusual, strange, then you're in the right place. Are you comfortable with travel? You've never left this town. Is that a choice, or is there a reason? Have you been told by any authorities not to leave the city for any particular reason? So you don't have any travel bans or reasons that prohibit you from traveling outside of the state or traveling outside of the country? Do you have a valid passport, or would you need time to get a passport prior to accepting this position? Yes, we are international. We do a lot of work here in the United States, but we are international, yes. Do you have a concern with being stationed outside of the United States? Interesting. Yes, that is true. If you were offered the job and were working here, what would your 5-year plan be? To ask the question in a different way, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, you are aware what we do here means that you will be trained in a wide variety of different fields and areas that are not exactly listed on your resume. We are looking for people with a particular set of skills, and your skill set on your resume is very tightly woven in one particular field of education, development. Please tell me a bit more about you and what special skills you could bring to this position. That is all listed here on your resume, and your resume is very professional, very well written, but it's a resume of an accountant applying for an accounting position. It's not tailored to this position of what we do here in this organization. Tell me more about you and what you see yourself doing here in this position. You already know more than most of people that I'm interviewing, so please tell me, how do you see yourself working in this dangerous field position? It seems like you've thought this out very well, which still makes me wonder, what was your reason for leaving a solid, stable position like a controller for a big business, office, desk? Certainly, as exciting and adventurous as this position might seem, why leave what you know so well, what you've worked and invested in? I see. Well, that's fine. And if it is a choice between this position and lion tamer, I guess in some ways this might be safer. In some ways, though, it might be more dangerous. Because what we deal with is the unknown. And you've already done lots of research into this position. You've probably already figured out kind of why this is a position that you can't always plan ahead for every alternative option that might be. So please tell me, how do you react when new information is thrown at you that you were not prepared for? Because this is a position where it is impossible to prepare and plan for every scenario. So tell me, what happens when you're surprised? When something brand new happens? Give me a previous example when you were surprised. Okay, that's a birthday party. That surprise birthday party, I get that. Can you give me a more pressing or position, a time in a previous position when you were not expecting something, not prepared, and had to think on the fly? Tell me a story about a time in accountancy when you couldn't have time to prepare before you needed to act. But that was still 7 days that you had to prepare and plan and react. Yes, it wasn't a fair deadline. But have you ever been in a situation when you had information suddenly thrown at you and you need to act fast? So are you someone who is risk averse or someone who knows the advantages to taking a risk? Some might say you're taking a risk right now and interviewing for this position. Would you consider this being a risk? Interesting. Do you have any problems with shift work, especially odd shifts, graveyard shifts, changes to shift schedule, being on call? That's great. What is your best skill or strength? And what would you say is your greatest weakness? Do you think that will affect you in the field when you have to make the hard call between doing the right thing and doing the nice thing? Making the tough choice of who lives and who dies, who you save and who you have to let go. When you need to sacrifice something, can you make that decision in the moment? When the entire world, our concept of living in this reality is on the line, are you ready and willing to make that call in the moment? I'm just saying this position is a large leap away from what you're used to doing in an office field in accountancy. I'm not saying that it's not difficult or stressful, but the skill set to being an accountant is very different from this. I just want to make sure that you're aware that you might be better suited for a normal job. And if you're looking for something more interesting or exciting, maybe, just maybe, getting a position where you can't tell your family, your friends, where your coworkers are off the grid, where even your coworkers aren't allowed to really socialize outside of the environment for fear of risking family, friends. Maybe something in between, not such a large gap in industry, would be a better start. Small steps leading to a more adventurous life. What are your hobbies? So let me ask you, what is the most interesting stamp that you've collected? Wow, that's rare. Tell me, was it hard acquiring that stamp? What is the most adventurous, dangerous thing you've done in your life so far? the most dangerous thing you've done is ordering something on the menu that may have given you food poisoning. It didn't give you food poisoning. Everything was fine. It was a normal restaurant with a well-trained chef, but it could have been bad. Okay. How quickly do you adapt to new technology? Can you give me an example of the last time you had to learn an entirely new computer program? How do you handle the differences between short-term and long-term stress? Interesting. And can you tell me a time when you were particularly passionate about what you were doing, when you were motivated to reach for those new barriers, when you were obsessive about something to the point that it consumed your life? What sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I can prepare this question correctly. What are you afraid of? No, truly. What terrifies you? What scares you? What makes you shiver with that true terror of the world? What are you truly afraid of? I ask because in this position, the position you have applied for, the position right here in front of you, it is one of agonizing fear. There will be times when you will be afraid. And I just want to make sure you understand that. Are you still interested in this position? All right. What is under your bed? What is your phone number backwards? No, don't worry. As I said, I will type rather excessive notes. Do you have any allergies? Are you okay with a psychiatric as well as a physical examination upon receiving an offer letter? All right. Do you like animals? What is your favorite animal? All right. Have you ever thought about or wished that you would fall asleep and not wake up? Good. Can you keep a secret? We are a secret organization. This is not a normal job. And you can't tell anyone. Part of this position often means relocating away from family, friends. Do you have any concerns with that? All right. Can you lie? Thank you for your honesty. And how would you define success? If you could start your career over again, knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? So, if you could have done things differently, you wouldn't have stayed with that company for 28 years. You would have rather moved from company to company, leveraging your skills and abilities more aggressively. That makes sense. And what is your favorite oxymoron? Your favorite oxymoron is exact estimate. Why? Why should we not hire you? Please calm down. Please don't cry. You don't need to cry here. Yeah, just take the box. Yeah. I think you understand that what we're looking for is someone more active, someone with more experience in dealing with dangerous things and ammunition, explosives, firearm experience. It looks here on your resume that the closest thing to firearm experience you have is the Marksman Boy Scout badge, and you took an archery class in college. Great skills, don't get me wrong, wonderful skills, but as you can tell, I'm concerned that what you really want is something. Maybe try banking or selling life insurance. Something new, something different that still falls within what you have done before. And as I'm sure you're aware, this position isn't like that. It's very important. It's a very great position. But what you are asking for is beyond what you're used to doing. Let me just say it, you're too nice. You have too good a heart. And for you to make those tough calls will harden that. You're too nice, you're too sweet, And I would hate to see a wonderful accountant like you fall into this position with all of its problems and concerns and stress. It would be wrong of me to even try to justify putting you out there into that. What I can say, though, is when we are looking to hire an accountant, we'll be looking for you. And we will find you. So, thank you for your time. If you don't mind, please leave a comment with the front desk. And after doing that, don't forget to hit the bell on your way out of the building. But don't worry about hearing back from us. There's nothing to worry about. You won't have any memory of this interview. And when we need an accountant, we will find you. And we will bring you in. And you'll have a great day. Thank you again for your time, and have a good day and sleep well.